11, yes. Oh, have a look at this thing here. Yes, the i9 killer in an UltraBook. And that title was not clickbait. That was not a joke. This thing can beat an i9 in like a 15-inch laptop gaming, whatever. Unless it's overclocked or some sort of thick beast thing, it's going to beat it. This UltraBook. Wow. And not only that, it does it on battery as well. So anyway, this is the Lenovo Slim Jim or Slim 7. It's actually branded Yoga, which is sort of strange to me because I always thought Yogas were 2-in-1s, but this one's branded Yoga as well. Now this one here comes with the Ryzen 7 4800U, 16 gigs RAM, yes, LPDDR4, super fast RAM, and it actually has a super fast SSD in there, which I'm not going to tell you the speed of because they can put any SSD in there at any time. So, but this one checks out. It's like 3000 reads and writes. Also comes with a 300 nit, and yes, it's about 287 nits, close enough to 300 nits, and yes, 100% sRGB display. Now, it is glossy display, so the reflections are a little bit, yeah, you know, that is what it is. I mean, there actually is an Intel version of this, and it costs like $1,000 more here in Australia anyway, and nah, come on. I wouldn't be paying $1,000 more. Well, it does have a better display, I'll give it that, and hopefully they'll bring that display option to this because this is hard to get, and I was actually going to buy this because I'm so impressed with it, and the price is just, compared to say an Intel powered Yoga, yeah, it's much cheaper, and as you'll see later, it's much more powerful as well. Now they actually only had the 4600, so yeah, I want this one. And that thing was only like 1200 Australian, so it's like sub $1,000, like 600-700 in the US or something. Build quality is good. Lenovo, man, it's tough. You know Lenovo, come on. They're always tough. You know, you pick them up like that. I don't do that. I do that actually. I do that with every laptop, but I don't have any worries with this. Keyboard flex, nothing, it goes dong. It's like built tough, and actually, yeah, if I really, you know, press into it, there might be a bit of flex there. People are complaining about, oh, the screen. No, there's nothing wrong with the screen, trust me. Build quality is really good. I have no complaints with the build quality of this. It's real tough, it's rugged, it's gonna last you a lifetime. Well, until the specs get out of date, and it'll be a while until they do get out of date because this thing is killer. So it actually comes in around 3 pounds, 1.4 kilos, and it's like 15 mil thick or 14.9 millimeters thick. So that's pretty much on par for an UltraBook, but you would have to go to a much heavier Intel based laptop to get the sort of performance you're going to get in this thing. For the ports there, it's got everything you want bar a full size SD card slot. It does have a mini one, you know, USB type A's there. We have HDMI, USB type C's, one with power and a headphone jack. No Thunderbolt 3, but I'm not going to complain at this price point. The sound is actually decent on this. It actually says it supports Dolby Atmos, and I actually listened to a few Dolby Atmos things and I sort of got the sense of Dolby Atmos, but I mean, it's hard to do it with, you know, 2 speakers, but I have no complaints with the audio. It was definitely loud enough, it was clear, didn't distort that much until you get to the really high end. Yeah, depending on what you're playing, it distort a little bit, but yeah, you're not going to have it 100%, are you? Keyboard is awesome, backlit, and it's actually not even slippery. Everything about this keyboard is awesome. It's a nice amount of travel, it's not slippery, got the nice shape to them. It's a Lenovo, so they always make one of the best keyboards, and this is no exception here. It is a great keyboard. Trackpad, no issues whatsoever with this trackpad. You know, it's not the largest trackpad in the world, but Windows Precision, it works well, no issues there. Battery life on this thing is insane, like it really is. I was getting like 12 hours battery use. Yes, 12 hours, over 10 hours, no problems with this. I mean, if you slam that CPU, you won't get that, but it's all day battery life for just normal web surfing and stuff like that. You're going to get over 10 hours. happy days. Nothing more to be said on that. Performance, well, this is where this thing kicks it. I mean, if you get an i9 in a laptop, like, you know, stock i9, you're expecting a Cinebench score of around 3600, something like that. 3700 in a good one, and maybe in some of the gaming ones where they can pump like 100 watts into it, you might get over 4000. This thing here does 3786. Wolf, but not only that, it'll do it on battery as well. And this is a 15 watt CPU, so it's a low powered CPU. Of course, when you slam that CPU, yeah, look here, just look. It's going to use a lot more power than 15 watt. But as you'll see here, you'll just run that through that Cinebench there, and you'll see that it just, yeah, it kills it. It competes with an i9. All right, so now listen to the fan under full load. That's what you'd expect in an UltraBook. It's no louder or less louder than any other sort of UltraBook. It's actually quite pleasant compared to 15-inch laptops, and compared to gaming laptops, oh my God, it's like heaven. You're never going to hear the fans unless you're pushing it, and I seldomly heard the fans at all under idle or web surfing. Every now and then it'll just kick in, but generally you're not going to hear the fans. This thing is on battery, as you can see, and woof, 3746. Cinebench. Are you kidding me? i9 in an UltraBook. Okay, so here we have it. I'm using the Arturio Audio Fuse interface. I'm using AKG microphone, and I'm recording at 32 size buffer. 32 size, yes, 32. Now usually you would never go down this low. I have no idea if we're getting any pops. You know, that will happen if the buffer's too small, but 32 size buffer. And I'll be interested to know what the audio is like. I have tested it before, 128 no problem, 64 no problem, so this is 32 now, and you'll hear any pops if it's no good. And I think this is actually really good for music production, because have a look there, CPU usage is 1.5. You know what, the SSD's fast enough, it's writing fast enough, it's only using 73 megabytes, is that right? 73 megabytes? Well, that's crazy. And that's about it. Now, the only thing you can upgrade in here, if you take off, you know, the bottom there, the only thing you can really upgrade in there is the SSD. You can get Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 5 depending on the model. This thing is a great laptop for the price and the power you're getting in this. You've never seen UltraBooks with this sort of power, and this thing is just a beast, all right? And it's well made. The display, it's a bit glossy, but other than that, it all checks out. Everything's good on it. There's nothing I can really complain about here, except I can't get it. What? And you'll actually be able to game on this too, like, you know, casual sort of games and stuff like that you'll be able to do on this, you know, video edit here and there. You know, it's not made for that, it's an UltraBook, but this is a good machine and I highly recommend it. And if you can get it, and I'll definitely pick this over the Intel version of this just because of that power, like i9 power in an UltraBook. Wolf. Catch you in the next one, guys. Tally ho. Boom, 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 I got this feeling the won't subside. And yes, have a look at this thing here.